Have you ever wondered what your dog would do if you just never came home? Do they think you abandoned them? Do they actually know you're gone? What science has discovered about how dogs process loss is going to completely change the way you look at your best friend. Take this story, for example.
In 2011, a Navy SEAL named John Tumilson was killed in action in Afghanistan. At his funeral, his dog, a Labrador named Hawkeye, walked down the aisle on his own, lay down beside the casket, and didn't move for the entire service. The photo went around the world, and people who saw it asked the same question, the one scientists, dog owners, and psychologists have been trying to answer for decades. Does a dog actually know? Does he actually grieve? We know dogs feel joy. We've seen it. The tail spin, the leap at the door, the pure chaos of a leash appearing. But what about the other end of the emotional spectrum? What happens inside a dog's mind and body when the person they love most simply stops coming home? Today, we're going to look at the science, the real stories, and the psychology behind one of the most quietly heartbreaking things that happens in the animal world. Because what you're about to find out might completely change how you see your dog. Here's where it gets complicated. Dogs don't understand death the way we do. They don't have a concept of mortality. They don't know that death is permanent. But here's what they do know, and this is crucial. Someone is gone, and they're not coming back. Dogs are creatures of routine, of smell, of presence. Their entire emotional reality is built around the people in their environment. When that person disappears, no scent to the door, no familiar footsteps, no voice, the dog doesn't think they died. The dog thinks, where are they? And they wait, and they search. And when the searching finds nothing, that's when the grief begins. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, conducted one of the most referenced studies on this. They surveyed hundreds of dog owners who had lost another pet in the home, and the results were striking. Over 36% of dogs ate less after the loss. More than 11% stopped eating almost entirely. 63% became more vocal, whining, howling, crying, and over half became more clingy and attention-seeking. But when the owner themselves dies, not just another animal, the response can be far more intense. Dogs have been documented returning daily to their owner's grave, refusing to sleep anywhere except the owner's side of the bed, carrying the owner's clothing around the house as if trying to keep a piece of them close, going to windows and doors at the exact time the owner used to come home, for weeks, sometimes months. This isn't instinct. This is attachment. Here's what the neuroscience tells us. When a dog looks at their owner, just looks at them, oxytocin levels rise in both the human and the dog simultaneously. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical released between a mother and her newborn child. Dogs' brains don't just recognize their owners as caretakers, they recognize them as family. In 2014, a team of researchers in Hungary trained dogs to lie still inside MRI scanners, no restraints, no sedation, and scanned their brain activity in response to different sounds. The voices of their owners lit up the reward center of the dog's brain more than almost anything else, more than toys, more than food, more than other dogs. So when that voice goes silent forever, when that presence vanishes from every corner of their sensory world, the emotional impact is not subtle. It is total. You may have heard of Hachiko, the Japanese Akita who waited at Shibuya Station every single day for his owner, Professor Ueno, for 9 years after the professor died suddenly in 1925. 9 years of showing up, 9 years of waiting,
9 years of hope that never broke. There's a bronze statue of him at that station today. People still leave flowers. Or Greyfriars Bobby, a Skye Terrier in Edinburgh who reportedly guarded his owner's grave for 14 years in the 1800s. He was so well known that the city gave him a license. They built a fountain in his honor. These aren't fairy tales. These are documented, witnessed, recorded behaviors. And they point to something that science is only just beginning to put words to. Dogs don't just love their owners. They are loyal to them beyond death. So if you're watching this because you've lost someone and their dog is now in your care, here's what the experts say. 1. Don't rush them.
A grieving dog may seem like they've forgotten, but that's not healing. That's suppression. Let them move at their own pace. 2. Keep the routine. Same walks, same feeding times, same spaces. Routine is the anchor of a dog's emotional life. 3. Don't remove the scent too fast. That old shirt, that blanket, the owner's pillow. Let the dog keep those smells around. It's not morbid, it's comfort. 4. Give them more presence, not less. Grieving dogs don't need space. They need contact. They need to know that someone is still there. And 5, if the grief lasts more than a few weeks and is affecting their health, talk to a vet. Canine depression is real, and it's treatable. And if you're grieving yourself, if you lost the person, know this: your dog is not just sad. They're carrying the same absence you are, in their own way. You're not grieving alone. You're grieving together. Hawkeye, John Tumilson's dog, was eventually adopted by one of John's family members. He lived a long life. He was loved. But those who were there say he was never quite the same. Some bonds, it seems, don't break. Not even then. If this moved you, share it with someone who loves their dog. And if your dog is with you right now, go give them something for me. Don't forget to subscribe, because we explore the emotional lives of animals every week. See you next time.